Uh, Hello, good morning, everyone. This is 102 subject or organizational behavior, and we are going to start with our today's session. So, I hope all are okay. Good morning to all. This is our session for 102 organizational behavior, and we are going to start with our today's session. Now, our today's session is about the pending part related to attitude. So, I hope all have gone through the previous PPTs and theoretical examples that have been explained in the previous session. And today we will start with the further part of the same. Okay, so is my screen visible to all? Yes? Yes? Okay. So we'll start with this remaining part. In the previous session, we were on the point that whether attitude can predict a behavior of a person or not, right? So we have seen that in some cases, attitude is the best predictor for your behavior, and some theories have also proven that attitude does not predict the behavior because the situation and the circumstances might change from person to person, and the things might not be similar in case of every person, right? So it can't be means we have not yet gone through, or we have not yet come to the conclusion that whether a person's behavior can be predicted with his attitude. Okay, so in our previous session we have seen that some scientists or some theorists are saying, sorry, some management gurus say that they say that attitude cannot be the best predictor of your behavior, but at the same time, while some people say that yes, attitude can be a factor which is responsible for the human behavior. So specific attitude will predict specific type of behavior. This is what we have learned till now. Now, person you ask, so for certain people's attitudes are more consistent with their behaviors than the others. Means, as we have seen in the last case or the last lecture the example that we discussed in the last lecture, uh, that not every time the person's attitude can predict its behavior, right? But when we are talking about few people, it is like they are very much consistent with their behavior with respect to attitude. Means whatever attitude they have possessed, their behavior will be inconsistent with those attitude, or something belongingness will be visible while observing those people. So their attitudes are the best predictor of their behavior, we can commit from that, right? So yes, we can say that ki attitude are the uh, consistent predictor, or your attitude can be consistent with the behavior of certain people. So who are such people whose attitude is very much consistent with the behavior of the other people? So these people are considered to be the people having high self monitors. Means they are very much self monitored people who are the best whose attitude can be best predicted by their behavior can be best predicted by their attitude. A high self monitor changes their behavior depending on the situation. A low self monitor behave the same way across the situation. Means a person who is high self monitor means he observes the situations, he observes the changes, whatever is going on, or whatever the situation is, whatever the circumstances is, depending on those circumstances and those situation, person changes his behavior. So such people are called as high self monitoring people. Means they change their behavior depending on the situation. So similarly, there are some people who are not high self monitor, those are called as a low self monitor people. And these people are the people who behave consistently same in every situation. Means whatever may be the situation, they will behave in a same similar manner which they have shown in other similar situations or different situation. They won't change their type of behavior pattern. So such people are called as low self monitoring behaving people. Okay, so now the next question, that are you a high self monitor people, how we will identify that? Yes, yes, students. How one can identify the person is high self monitored person or low self monitored person? Yes, Rutuja, Ajinkya. Yes, mean- yes, and she will show the similar. Yes, fight the situation, or he may right, he will react according to the situation and the need of that time, right? So such kind of things can be are helpful for us to identify whether the person is a high self monitored person or a low self monitored person. Yes, ma'am. Hi, sir. Which one, ma'am? Certain people's attitude are more consistent with their behavior than others. No, that is just a statement. And example is like is high self-monitored people means they're consistent attitude. Yeah, here should be the word inconsistent. Yeah. Yeah. So such kind of things are been means you can observe the people and identify whether the person is high self monitored or low self monitored. Usually high self monitored people are very much confident, and they're like accepting the situation, identifying what can be done, and then reacting accordingly. But at the same time, low self monitored people are a little bit you can say they are not that much open minded, and they usually get afraid of such situations and try to run out of it, or they will show a very subtle behavior, like they will be very calm, very silent, and they will behave in the entire situation in a very normal way, which is not expected. So such kind of people are called as are considered to be a self low self monitored people. And you can observe the people having high self monitor means attitude, their behavior always changes according to the situation. But the people with low self monitor, their behavior is consistent throughout the situations, means whatever may be the situation, they will behave in the similar manner, which is their natural, or you can say their constant behavior pattern. They won't change their behavior and the way they are expressing themselves. Now, next point is situation in which you ask them. Now, whether attitudes predict behavior may depend on the context in which you ask the question. Now, for example, people who hate their job will still go to work. Or means this is a small thing, like whether the attitude predict behavior may depend on the context in which you ask the question. Means depending on the question or the scenario or the fact, though the attitude is different, but you will observe the different behavior. So your example is given that if you'll ask a person that do you hate your job, even the person is hating his job or he doesn't like to work, but then too he goes to work because he has certain responsibilities, certain things that is to be done, and it can't be done without money, and hence he has to work though he like it or not. So depending on the situation or the question also, the though the attitude is different, you will observe the different behavior. So attitude toward work predict attendance, while obligation to attendance when obligation to attend is removed. So attendance is something that is mandatory for work, and hence though his attitude is negative about the job, he will show the opposite behavior, because attendance is something that is mandatory, and you have to prove that you are attending the office and working, otherwise they are not going to pay you off, right? So though the situation or the attitude regarding certain thing is different, but the context in which the person has to do certain thing might show the different behavior than his attitude. Next is how do attitude actually predict behavior. Now, Asen and Fishbin theory of planned behavior is something which will help us to learn that. Okay, so this is not the actual part that is included in your theory, but we have just included so as to get you something input related to this theoretical part, though this part is not in your syllabus. Okay, so attitude to behavior will help you to identify behavioral intention. Then the subjective norm will also be the factor that will have the impact on behavioral intention. And finally will be the perceived behavioral control. Means though you have certain attitude, maybe negative, positive, but perceived behavioral control will be something that will have a very much control and impact on the behavioral intention and the actual behavior which you will show. And obviously, whenever all these things are working together, the subjective norm means about what the thing is working on and what is the situation or what is the subjective norm, that will be the important point while possessing or while showing this behavior and attitude, right? So all these things come together and your behavioral intention form. All these factor impact on your behavioral intentions, and then the intention is formed. And once the intention is formed, it is the action comes out of that behavior. But it is a perceived behavioral control, means something is there in between which doesn't clearly help your intention to put forth. Some perceived behavioral controls are there which control your negative behavior or certain behavior which will not be helping you out in the future, right? So we think over all those things considering the subjective norm. And then you have some certain perceived behavior which controls your behavioral intention. And finally controlled behavior is been observed by the person in front. So this is how the theory of planned behavior works. Means all those things are been planned in our back in the mind, and then in depending on the subjective norm and the attitude and the perceived intention, your behavior control acts upon it, and final behavior is been showcased outside. So in this work, the theory of planned behavior works. I hope all have understood this. Yes, any doubt? Please unmute and talk, because I have closed the meet screen. No doubt so far? Okay, so we'll move further now. Now, next part is the theory of planned behavior, right now, which we have seen. So, behavioral beliefs is the first part, which is linked with the normative beliefs, and again, it is linked with the control beliefs. So, whenever we are going to talk about the control beliefs, these are the beliefs about the likely consequences of a behavior and the evaluation of the consequences. Okay, means whatever behavior you wish to show and what will be the consequences, those are considered under behavioral beliefs. Next is the normative beliefs. So normative beliefs are the beliefs about the expectations of the other people and the motivation to comply with these expectations. Means what will other think if I behave in certain manner, what are the expectation of other people about my behavior, about what I am doing, what I am not doing. So all these things are considered under and thought about. And then all these things act, and then the motivation to comply or not to comply with the expectation is been thought over in the process of normative beliefs. And then the last part is the control beliefs. So control beliefs are the beliefs about the existence of factors that may help or hinder the performance of a behavior and perceived powers of these factors. Means control belief is certain you can say a controlling instinct in our mindset, which though whatever may be xyz the behavioral beliefs and normative beliefs, and depending on that what intentions we have formed to behave, those might arise. But to showcase all those intention in your actual behavior, that depends on the control beliefs. Means the control beliefs controls your, or you can say it hinders, it creates an obstacle to showcase your 100% behavioral intention by actual behavior. So that is something you can consider, which controls the entire behavioral output of a human being. So whenever we are talking about the behavioral beliefs, it is about the attitude towards the behavior. Means the specific attitude toward a behavior, it may be favorable or unfavorable. Then when you are talking about the normative beliefs, it is the subjective norms. Means the belief about how other people will view a behavior of yours, and it is kind of the social pressure that has been exerted indirectly on a person while showing his behavioral intention. Like we say, if I behave this way, what people will say, what they will think about me, right? So this is something about, you can say, subjective norms. And then the last one is the perceived behavioral control. So it is a thing which is with which people behave, they can perform the behavior, means it will control your entire thing, right? And depending on that, the actual behavioral control is generated. And though whatever may be the behavioral intention which are, you can say, obtained out of the attitude towards the behavior and the subjective norms, the and though the behavioral intention be certain things, but your actual behavioral control will control those intentions, and your good side behavior, or you can say the acceptable behavior as per your planned mindset, will be occurred at the time of actual action. Okay, so in this way the theory of planned behavior works. So any doubt so far? Yes, I hope all are cleared with this since no reply. Yes. Same point. हां. हां, बिहेवियरल बिलीफ्स म्हणजे काय असतं, की जेव्हा आपण कुठलाही म्हणजे ॲटिट्यूड, तर मी जसं मागे सांगितलं, एखाद्या व्यक्तीबद्दल, एखाद्या वस्तूबद्दल, एखाद्या गोष्टीबद्दल आपल्या मनामध्ये एक चित्र तयार झालेलं असतं, ज्याला आपण ॲटिट्यूड म्हणतो, राईट? ऑन विच आर ॲक्शन अँड बिहेवियर इज डिपेंडंट. बरोबर? सो हा जो ॲटिट्यूड तयार झाला आहे आपल्या बिहेवियरकडे जाणारा, तो मे बी फेवरेबल असेल, म्हणजे चांगला असेल किंवा वाईट असेल, अनफेवरेबल पण असू शकतो. ठीक आहे. हा कशावर डिपेंड असतो? थोडाफारसा लिंक्ड असतो, यू कॅन से, डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सब्जेक्टिव्ह नॉर्म. भलेही एखादी व्यक्ती आपल्याला तुम्ही म्यूट कराल का प्लीज? भलेही एखादी व्यक्ती आपल्याला आवडेल, ना आवडेल, हा झाला आपला ॲटिट्यूड. मग त्यावरून आपलं ठरतं, की आपण त्या व्यक्तीशी फेवरेबल वागणार आहोत, किंवा आपल्यासाठी ती व्यक्तीकडचा पाहण्याचा दृष्टिकोन फेवरेबल आहे की अनफेवरेबल. ठीक आहे. नेक्स्ट इज सब्जेक्टिव्ह नॉर्म. सब्जेक्टिव्ह नॉर्ममध्ये आपण काय कन्सिडर करतो, की असं आपलं बिलीफ असतं, की मी असं असं केलं तर लोक माझ्याबद्दल काय विचार करतील, लोकांना कसं वाटेल. मग ह्या व्यक्तीसाठी मी खूप चांगली व्यक्ती आहे, मग मी जर खराब वागले तर तो माझ्याबद्दल काय विचार करेल, माझ्याबद्दल त्याला नेगेटिव्हिटी क्रिएट होईल. सो आणि हे सगळं सोसायटी प्रेशर असतं. हे कशामध्ये येतं? सब्जेक्टिव्ह नॉर्म्सवरती. मग दो यू हॅव फेवरेबल ॲटिट्यूड और अनफेवरेबल ॲटिट्यूड, these subjective norms are there which creates behavioral intention. हे जे सोसायटी प्रेशर आणि माझ्याबद्दल दुसरा काय विचार करेल, ह्याच्यावरती ठरतं, की आपण आपलं कसं वागायचं, आपण ह्याचं इंटेन्शन आपलं काय आहे, ते तिथे तयार होतं. मग जर ती व्यक्ती चांगली असेल किंवा वाईट असेल, तरी आपण कसं, लोकं काय विचार करतील ह्यावरून आपलं बिहेवियर ठरवतो. आणि ह्याला आपण म्हणतो बिहेवियरल इंटेन्शन. ठीक आहे. आता पर्सिव्हड बिहेवियरल कंट्रोल म्हणजे काय आहे, की भलेही व्यक्ती आवडते ना आवडते, सोसायटल प्रेशर तुम्ही कॅरी करता ना करता, त्यामुळे काही आपण सोसायटीसमोर किंवा ॲक्चुअल बिहेव करताना चुकीचं वागू नये, किंवा काहीतरी वेगळ्या पद्धतीनं वागू नये, जे अनएक्सपेक्टेबल असेल. तर असं होऊ नये ह्यासाठी जे आपल्या बॅक इन द माइंड प्लॅन होत असतो, त्याला आपण म्हणतो पर्सिव्हड बिहेवियरल कंट्रोल. ह्याच्यामुळे जे आपलं ॲक्च्युअल वागणं असतं, समजा एखादी व्यक्ती मला नाही आवडत आहे, मी लोकांचा विचार नाही करत आहे, सो मी वाईट वागेन. पण हे जे ॲक्च्युअल बिहेवियरल कंट्रोल आहे ना, हे मला वाईट वागण्यापासून खेचतं किंवा थांबवतं, ऑब्स्टॅकल क्रिएट करतं, आणि मला हेल्प करतं, की भलेही मला आवडत नाही आहे, मी लोकांचा विचार करत नाही आहे, पण मी असंही वागलं नाही पाहिजे. सो हे माझं बिहेवियर कंट्रोल करणार आहे, आणि ह्या कंट्रोल्ड बिहेवियरनी मी ॲक्च्युअलमध्ये बिहेव करणार. म्हणजे भलेही मला आवडत नसेल, तरी मी बिहेव करताना मी तितकं खराब नाही वागणार, किंवा मी चांगलं वागेन. सो दॅट इज द ॲक्च्युअल बिहेवियर दॅट इज possessed or that is acted outside. कळतंय का आता? So that is the theory of planned behavior. I hope all have understood now. Yes, ma'am.
टुवर्ड्स बिहेवियर म्हणजे पहिलं जे बिहेवियरल बिलीफ होतं
हां,
म्हणजे एखाद्या बॉसचं कोणी फेवरेट असेल जॉबमध्ये
हां,
मग तो नाही का तो इग्नोर करेल त्याचं समजा लेट कमिंग असेल किंवा काही एखादं काम नाही झालं वगैरे तर
हां.
तेच तो दुसऱ्या माणसाबद्दल तो नाही का स्ट्रिक्टच वागेल
बरोबर.
फेवरेबल असेल तर
हां.
आता जसं आईला आपला मुलगा चांगलाच वाटतो किती सेवा केलाय दॅट इज कॉल्ड बिहेवियरल बिलीफ
राइट.
आपण सब्जेक्टिव्ह बनतो एका पर्टिक्युलर पर्सन नॉर्मेटिव्ह बिलीफ्स मध्ये म्हणजे की मग तो जॉब एम्प्लॉई पण असेल ना की पुढे पुढे करणारा असतो की भले त्याला ॲटिट्यूड नसेल कामाचा पण मी कसं चांगलं दाखवायचं खायचे असलेले असलेले की पुढे पुढे करणारा दॅट इज नॉर्मेटिव्ह बिलीफ आणि कंट्रोल बिलीफ मध्ये तो बॉस एकदम ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह असेल सगळ्यांच्या बाबतीत जे रूल इज रूल मग कधीतरी त्यांच्या 10 गोष्टी चांगल्या असतील आणि एक दिवशी त्यांनी लेट केलं किंवा काही नाही केलं लेट मस्त लाईक दॅट दॅट इज कंट्रोल बिलीफ
नो, नाही, नाही. तसं नाही आहे. थोडंसं वेगळ्या पद्धतीनं आहे, की एक आपला सर्टन लोकांबद्दल एक ॲटिट्यूड असतो. त्याच्यावरून ठरवतो आपण, की कसं त्या व्यक्तीला आपण नाही का निगेटिव्हली पाहतो की पॉझिटिव्हली पाहतो. पण निगेटिव्हली एक्झाम्पल घ्या, की समजा निगेटिव्हली पाहतो. मला एखादी व्यक्ती आवडतच नाही, तर मी तिच्याशी वाईटच वागणार. पण सब्जेक्टिव्ह नॉर्म्समध्ये आपण काय करतो, की मी अशी वागले तर लोकं माझ्याबद्दल काय विचार करतील? लोकांचं माझ्याबद्दलचं इमेज आहे ते कसं हॅम्पर होईल? आणि ह्या आउट ऑफ एक सोशल प्रेशर क्रिएट होतं. त्यावरून आपण ठरवतो, की माझं बिहेवियरल इंटेन्शन कसं असणार आहे. हां. आणि हां, ट्राय टू बिहेव अकॉर्डिंगली. बट असे पण लोकं असतात, की जे हे प्रेशर कॅरी नाही करत. राइट? सो मग इथे काय होतं, पर्सिव्हड बिहेवियरल कंट्रोल ॲक्ट करतो. म्हणजे दो युअर इंटेन्शन बिहेवियर मे बी क्रुअल ऑर नॉट गुड, बट तुमचं जे ॲक्च्युअल कंट्रोल बिहेवियर आहे ना, हे त्या क्रुअलिटीला किंवा नेगेटिव्हिटीला कंट्रोल करेल, की जेणेकरून तुमचं सोशल प्रेशर किंवा सोशल इमेज हॅम्पर होऊ नये आणि भलेही तुमचं इंटेन्शन वाईट वागण्याचं असेल, बट तुमचं ॲक्च्युअल बिहेवियर कंट्रोलमुळे चांगलं बाहेर दिसेल.
जसे पॉलिटिशियन्स करतात
राइट, एक्झॅक्टली. राइट. या.
इमेज इन द सोसायटी
या. सो दिस इज जस्ट वन एक्झाम्पल. अशा पद्धतीनं, बट ह्याचे मल्टिपल, जसं यू से, की मी से की हां बाबा, माणूस म्हटलं की हजार तऱ्हेचा असू शकतो. सो दिस सिच्युएशन विल चेंज फ्रॉम पर्सन टू पर्सन अँड फ्रॉम बिहेवियर टू बिहेवियर, फ्रॉम परसेप्शन टू परसेप्शन. सो प्रत्येकासाठी हा प्लॅन्ड बिहेवियरचा जो चार्ट आहे हा चेंज होऊ शकतो अकॉर्डिंग टू द पर्सन अँड द पर्सनॅलिटी. ओके. बट दिस इज अ बेसिक जनरलाइज स्टडी, की अशा पद्धतीनं आपण बॅक इन द माइंड काम करत असतो. भलेही मला एखादी व्यक्ती नाही आवडली, पण मी डायरेक्ट अशी नाही बोलू शकत. आपण असा विचार करतो ना, तर कसा विचार करतो, तर आपलं कंट्रोल बिहेवियर मेकॅनिझम तिथे काम करतं, की अरे माझ्याबद्दल लोकं काय म्हणतील, की त्या व्यक्तीला माझ्याबद्दल काय वाटेल मी असं बोललो तर. भलेही ती मला आवडत नाही आहे, पण ह्या गोष्टी मॅटर करतात. सो ह्या कंट्रोलिंग जो पार्ट आहे ना, त्याला आपण पर्सिव्ड बिहेवियरल कंट्रोल म्हणतो. आणि भलेही मग इंटेन्शन माझं होतं, की अरे मला तिला बोलायचं होतं, बट मी नाही बोलली आहे. का? कारण बिकॉज ऑफ द सब्जेक्टिव्ह नॉर्म अँड द पर्सिव्ड बिहेवियरल कंट्रोल. सो मी वागताना मी ठीकच वागते असं. आलं लक्षात सगळ्यांच्या? या, या. uh, so this was all about the planned behavior. See, these are the things we actually do and we actually behave. फक्त आपल्याला हे शब्दात माहीत नसतं. Right? So it is something that we do in our daily lives. We observe the things, we actually are the part of it, but we have not thought in this manner. Right? So now, coming to the further part, now there are two types of attitude, as we have discussed in the further previous slides. So one is the positive attitude, which we are also calling as a right attitude, and next one is the negative attitude. So we'll first go through the positive attitude. So when we say positive attitude, it is nothing but the right attitude, or something which will get you par with the positiveness, right? So how you can develop a positive attitude? So it can be developed by a constructive and creative thinking. Always be creative, always be thoughtful, right? So it will help you to create a good positive attitude. Then expecting success, never demotivate yourself. Always think that something better is there in front, and you have to go through, work through it, and you'll always get it. So expecting the success is like the next point. Then being inspired. See, if you see something good, something positive, something which is very nice, and you should adopt that, get inspired by those things, though it may be something which is, you don't liked it before, or others don't like. Don't take those consider, or don't consider those things as a hampering part over it. If you like something, if you think you will be happy with something, get inspired by it, go on. Then choosing happiness, always choose happiness, though there are sad parts, black parts in your life, but don't move towards those, rather choose the happiness and things that will give you positivity. Then not giving up means always keep on trying, don't give up on your things. Then believe in yourself, that is, you have to develop your confidence, work on your self confidence. Then looking towards the solution and not the problem, means don't always find out the problems and the queries that are that you have to face in your life. Always think that how you can solve and overcome those problems and issues, and not let them impact on your routine. So you have to take or go through the solutions that can be adopted out of it, not think on the problem part. Then associated yourself with happiness and positive people. See, sometimes it happens that if you are going to be with people which are negative, no, you are automatically going to get negative yourself, because the things that we listen, or the environment in which we are there for a longer period of time, or for the majority of time, those environment really has a very deep impact on our mindset. And if you are associated with always sad and negative people, you're going to get affected by it, and you'll also start feeling sadness and dullness. So always be associated with happy and positive energetic people, so that you'll turn yourself automatically in a very positive and happy way. So in this way, the things will help you out to be a positive person or create a positive attitude. Now, developing negative attitude, how those negative we say that the person is always negative, how these things come out of, means what happens, or what are the things which are responsible for making a person negative. So worrying about the things that can't be controlled. See, there are always certain things which are under our control, and something which is out of our control. So we should not think of those control which are we should not think about the things which are not under our control, because if the things are not in your control, you can't do anything. Just worrying about it will create stress, and it will not be something that will lead you with the solution. So don't worry about things which are not under your control. This is the first thing. Next is rushing to judgment, means if certain things happens, don't immediately judge a person or a thing or a situation. Means don't immediately pass your judgment, or don't immediately judge the person or a fact. Madam. Okay. So you should not be judgmental, because what happens if you are judgmental, no, you are going to immediately get to certain conclusion. You'll be very quick at judging someone, getting inputs and immediately giving outputs, which will not be helpful in understanding the person, in what situation the person have behaved, or what were the circumstances in which the person is behaving like that. So all these things we ignore when we are being judgmental. So never rush to the judging anyone. Be empathetic, be little sympathetic, so that you'll be good with others, and you will not immediately judge others if you are empathetic, right? Empathetic is being thinking like you are in place of that person, and then thinking about the situation and then commenting over it. So being empathetic is always a good quality which everyone should have. And if the person is empathetic, he is very less towards being judgmental. So always be empathetic. Then overreacting, though anything happens or any situation occurs which is not in your favorable part, or you don't like that, or it is negative, then don't overreact on it, because it is already thing that has been happened and now it can't be changed. So start thinking over that now what you can do over the chaos situation. Now don't start overreacting. Stop reacting, and rather you can start thinking on now what can be done and what can be brought about to clear or solve the issue. So overreacting is the thing first which should be eliminated from everyone's behavior, because overreacting always creates more confusion, more grievances, and more quarrels and fighting. So always stop overreacting. Then last is giving up too soon. Means ठीक है, if you are trying for the first time it doesn't happen, second time it doesn't happen, it doesn't mean that it is never going to happen. So always be like slow and steady, but you will win the race. You don't have to give up. You always have to keep on trying and trying and trying, because if you are going to give up too soon or too early, what will happen? Your mindset goes on getting negative, that yes, I can't do that, I can't do that. And when you start saying that I can't do that, you'll never will be able to do that. So always keep like, yes, I am going to do that, I will do that. And though my attempts fail for first time, second time, but I am sure that someday will be there when I'll succeed. So never give up too soon. Now, next part is the advantages of positive attitude. So what are the advantages of positive attitude? If the person is very much positive, he is himself very fresh and motivated. So due to that, what happens? He's there. The following things will be observed: that increased in productivity, means he will be more efficient in working, he will give more output. Then fosters teamwork, he will be a good team player. Solves problem, since he is a person with positive attitude and thinks continuously in a positive way, so he will not think about the problems, but he will start thinking about the solutions to the problem. So solves problem. Then improve quality. So improve quality means what? Here you are going, if you are very much motivated, and you are very much happy and self motivated, it will help you out in working in a more efficient way, more better manner, and hence it will lead to improve in the quality of your work. Then creates loyalty. As you are self motivated, you will be working good, automatically it will have an impact on your performance. Since your performance is good, you will be appreciated for that, and since you have been appreciated, your loyalty towards working in that workplace will increase. Hence if your attitude is positive, you'll always think good, and your loyalty towards the organization will increase. The next is increases profits. Ultimately, if you are going to be a good productive employee, you are going to be a part of the organization which is going to increase its profit due to having good quality productive employee. Now healthy relationship, as I told that positive attitude is something where you are very much empathetic, you don't judge the people, and you are very much understanding them. So due to this things, your relationship with other people will be very good. You'll be having good bonds, you'll share a good positive relationship with others, and hence you'll have healthy relations. Next is reduced stress. As I told that when you're positive, you very much think like you're going to do that, you'll achieve your goals, and your attitude is like everything is going to be good, everything is going to be fine, I'll be keeping trying, and one day there will be really a success. So due to all these things, automatically you start working in that way, your mindset gets completely changed, you're continuously motivated, and due to all these things your stress level reduces a lot and you feel fresh. So in this way there are n number of advantages of the positive attitudes. Now, here is one example I have taken for explaining the point of positive attitude. I hope the image is visible to you all. I hope all of you know that this is Abraham Lincoln, the President of America. Yes, are you people there with me? Neha, Bhumika, Samadhan, Rutuja, Saili. Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. This is Abraham Lincoln, the President of America. Now, this is a short story you can say about him, which will help you know the positive attitude that he possessed and how the person he was. So, this is one small example of his life. He lost his job, got defeated for legislature. Then he started his business. Then too that business was failed. His wife died out of a fatal disease. Then experienced nervous breakdown, means he was completely exhausted with whatever was happening. He had nervous breakdown. Then contested in election for speaker in legislature and lost. Then he tried for nomination in a political party. Then again he got lost. Then applied for the post of land officer and he didn't got it. Then again he contested for senate member, means he wanted to be a part of senate member. Then too he again lost. He contested for vice president. Then too he got lost. Then again contested for senate. Then too he got lost. But he didn't stop trying. He was continuously taking efforts. Continuously he was self motivating himself. He didn't saw the negative part, but always saw what I can do. He didn't saw the means I'm failing again and again. He didn't keep on thinking that. He didn't saw the problem, but he found out what the solution can be. And after the time span of 2 years, he got elected as a president of America. Right. So if Abraham Lincoln, such a person having such many problems, gone through worst of his life, can work in such a way, then what, why it can't be the similar thing with us? So we can also start thinking in such manner. We can also start developing the positive attitude. And finally, if your attitude is positive, obviously positive things are going to be taking place in your life. So this is the way that you should not always give up on certain things and keep on trying. Keep your positive attitude, because then only you are going to get success at the end. I hope all of you have understood that what am I trying to let you know through this example. Yes. Yeah. uh, Now here is something I have included in the slide, just for a change. We can change and succeed. So this is a chart of people who are very ordinary working, and then what did they become? Okay, so Albert Einstein, everyone knows, he was ordinary patent clerk, right? But then after whatever he was into, he became a world famous scientist, right? Abraham Lincoln, poor farmer's son, he became the president of India. So there are n number of example that here you can see, or you can say the worst case. Helen Keller, I hope you all know the girl who was blind, deaf and dumb, means she couldn't hear. At the age of 1.5 years, she got blindness, and it was permanent for the whole rest of her life, and she won't be able to again see the things. So she couldn't you can say hear, talk, or she couldn't even see the things. She was deaf also. So then too, after taking such a lots of efforts and things, she became a renowned writer. So the person being such helpless with even his physical structure, which is given by God, then too, if she didn't stop, then who are we, or why should we be a part of negativity? So always everyone should start to create a positive insight in their personality, and try to develop their positive part, which will help them to success achieve success in future. Okay. Then here is one more you can see. Instead of blaming darkness, light a candle if you can, and stop blaming. Instead, you take action. So these are very small lessons that we should have takeaways and always take in our life and actually implement those. Because while working in an organization, you have to face so many challenges, so many negative things will come up, so many people are there around you all, which will try to suppress you. But you don't have to keep pointing on them. Rather, you have to start working on it, that what is my negative part and how I can control it, right? Now, the functions of attitude. There are four functions of attitude, that is adjustment, ego defensive, value expression, and knowledge. So we'll be doing this part in our next session. Okay. And probably we'll be completing the part of attitude in our further section. So for today we will stop here because this is a continuation part, and if we'll start now and again end in between, it won't be that helpful. So we'll conclude today's session here. Okay. So any doubt so far, please let me know. Yes. Yeah. So I hope there are no doubts from your side. Then too, if you want, you can just go through the slides which are available on e-content tab, and you can ask questions if in case of any doubt, and let me know. And with this, I conclude today's session. Thank you for attending and being such a patient students. Thank you. You all may now leave the session for the day. Thank you. Yeah.